online, and roll call. If you want to know who's here, roll call serves that purpose. If we have any guests that want to introduce themselves, they can do so in public comment. So with that, maybe Chris, you want to start us off?
Hello, Chris Fellerhoff with Hillsborough County Community and Infrastructure Planning.
Sally Thompson, citizen at large.
Len Watson with the Environmental Protection Commission.
John Kubicki, citizen at large.
David Aylesworth, citizen at large.
Ben Gordon, TPO liaison.
Katrina Corcoran, Planning Commission rep.
Dan Rodriguez, Hillsborough Transit Authority.
Jonathan Forbes, citizen at large.
All right, thanks. So with that, Gail, would you like to call roll?
Yes, David Aylesworth,
Present.
Tim Horst, John Kubicki,
Present.
Katrina Corcoran.
Here.
Christopher Fellerhoff,
Here.
Abigail Flores. I'm sorry, Abigail, are you there?
Sorry, that was me
No.
calling.
Okay. She had indicated she was going to be here tonight, so if she does come in, please let me know. Corporal Norris. Joel Yap.
Here.
Thank you. Elaine Watson.
Here.
Brent Buffington.
Here.
Frank Koffenauer. Daniel Rodriguez.
Here.
Jason Jackman.
Jason Jackman's not here. I'm Brenton Mosher. I'm his designated alternate.
Thank you, Brenton. Jonathan Forbes.
Present.
Victoria Klug. Again, indicated that they were going to be in attendance tonight. Let me know if they arrive. Sally Thompson.
Here.
Edward Newsom. David Solitti is excused. Jacob Brunel. Okay, one. I'm showing 8 in person. Is that correct?
That's correct.
We do not have an in-person quorum at this time.
Okay, so we'll let you know with what Victoria, or you mentioned a couple others that might show up.
How many do we need?
We need 9 or 8. Yep.
So we need one more.
Yep. But we can go ahead and continue with next with public comment. Anyone here? No one in person? Is there anyone online?
Hey, hi, this is Rafael De Dios from Hillsborough County Traffic Management Center. I just want to say hi.
Hi, Rafael. Thanks for coming. Any other public comment? Okay. Let's move on to members' interest and future topic requests. Yeah, I just want to kick off with a couple ideas. Some of these are more parliamentary, but so Gail or anyone else on staff wants to say we can't do this, let me know, just in the interest of running an efficient meeting. But I've always thought waiting on motions and votes for approval of minutes and adjournment are a little bit silly, but I'd like to just kind of use consensus to arrive at that. If somebody wants to amend the minutes, then yeah, we'll make a motion and we'll discuss it and vote on it. But otherwise, I'm just going to ask if there are any objections to approving the minutes. Same thing with adjournment. Once the agenda, once we've made our way through the agenda, I'm going to ask if there's any other new business, and if not, we're going to adjourn the meeting and just not wait. Just trying to remove some of the kind of the silly, awkward things in meetings. The other thing I'd ask, and I'll maybe work with Ben on speakers today, since it's harmony with TPO staff. I'm sure she's familiar with this, but one of the things I'd like us to understand with action items is make sure that everyone knows what's being asked of us, right? So if there's a request that we make some motion to approve something or endorse something, then we tell us that up front, and that way, as we're listening to the presentation, we can be asking ourselves, am I getting the information I need to make this motion? Because sometimes I listen to things, this is, I'm guilty of this. I listen to things and at the end, I don't understand what's expected of us. So telling people that up front would be helpful. The other thing that was, I'm embarrassed to admit, I had not read our bylaws after being a member for 4 years. And it was nice enough to send me a copy. I couldn't find them online when I searched. So although you sent me a link to online, I didn't find that link to them. So perhaps we could send them out to committee members. They're 16 pages. They're not that enlightening, but they did shed some light on some things for me that I just didn't know and I was embarrassed 4 years in that I hadn't read them. So they're simple to read. I think there's 2 paragraphs on BPAC. So if you want to just cut to the punchline, you could. I think it's on page 10. But I found it helpful. And a couple things I want to note from there. It's kind of our overall mission, and it's actually stated on the committee page on the website as well. So forgive me, I'll just read a couple sentences here. The BPAC's mission is to make Hillsborough County a safer and more pleasurable place to bicycle and walk. The committee makes recommendations to the TPO on bicycle and pedestrian related issues. And then the bylaws expands on that a little bit, but like 2 paragraphs. So that's the fundamental thing. And it's funny, I hadn't really spent much time reflecting on that, but thinking on how we handle some actions and discussions and votes, I do see a tendency sometimes for us to just kind of rubber stamp things that people bring to us. So what I'm going to encourage all of us to do is, maybe we can show it at the beginning of meetings or something. But think, is what I'm doing and how I'm voting and motions I'm making, does it make Hillsborough County a safer and more pleasurable place to bicycle and walk? And particularly, we see lots of people make compromises for cars, and they have to be made. We don't have to make them though, right? So that's what I want to remind us. Like, the board will make those compromises. We should ask ourselves, is what we're doing going to make this a more pleasurable place, safer place to bicycle and walk? Yeah, so that was my my speech that Sally asked me to make. And then a couple other things. I just want to give a kudos to the people at Walk Bike Tampa and Plan Hillsborough, who put on the Safe Streets event in Seminole Heights a couple weeks ago. Really outstanding event. And the speaker from, I think it's 880 cities, just really powerful presentation that would kind of get I'm sure anyone in this room fired up. I was speaking to the choir in that group, but that's the message we need to get out to the public. That the whole concept of 880 cities is that make a city that's safe and easy to use for 8-year-olds and 80-year-olds. It'll fill, it'll satisfy everybody in between. And I thought it was a really, really neat message. So good job on everyone involved in that. And all right, that's all I had. So any other members' interest?
Yeah. So see Brent's hand is up, so I'm going to defer to Brent
Okay.
first because his
Thank
hand has been up.
Bren?
Yes, so I just have a couple of events that I wanted to bring to the group's attention. On Friday, March 7th, we are partnering with the City of Temple Terrace to host their 11th annual Bike with the Temple Terrace Mayor. Because it's being held as part of their year-long 100-year anniversary of the founding of the city, we're trying to get 100 riders out. So we are hoping that you will join us at the Rec Center on Friday at 8 a.m. And I will put some information in the chat for them to distribute. On Thursday, March 13th is the City of Tampa and Tampa Downtown Partnerships Bike to Work, Ride, and Rally. So this is everyone starts at one of 7 designated points, and they all ride into Gaslight Park, where we have a little rally where we will be set up with tables. We'll have some commemorative shirts. And then on Monday, March 17th at Cutter, we are having our annual presentation of our Michael R. Schwade Bicyclist of the Year Award. So some of you who have been around a while may remember Michael Schwade. We have this award in his honor. And so the BPAC's Brent Buffington will be the recipient this year. And so we would like everyone to come out and support Brent. Thank you.
Thank you, Brent. Also, just real quick, Gail, Victoria has made meetings to work more of those. Thanks, Victoria.
Thank you.
Yeah, just wanted to share with the group, for anybody that's interested, our agency has a future leaders in planning program for high school students. That'll be going on, I believe, in June. Everybody might know the dates better than me. But the application's open on March 3rd. So if you know any high school students that are interested in planning or might be interested in planning, it's a really great program. We take them to Plant City, to Qatar, to USF, different areas. They get to hear from local planning professionals and agencies. We provide lunch and swag, and they get to do fun things. So just wanted to share that. We shared it at a local town hall on Monday, and there was a lot of interest. Thank you.
Thank you. Jonathan.
I'd like to congratulate Brent for being bicyclist of the year. Sorry you're not here, man, but congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Any else?
I was just gonna, John Kabicki, I was just gonna say congrats to the TPO. That was a great job with the Gulf Coast Safe Street Summit. So thank you. It was a good event.
Actually, one more thing for me was, yeah, apologies, I wasn't able to make the Tri-County BPAC meeting. We can give a brief summary of that. Another time. Okay, that's fine. All right, any other members' interest and also, included in here is future topic requests, and, you don't have to present them here. You can also bring them directly to Ben or myself, and I can bring them to Ben. Okay, well, with that, then the minutes were distributed. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Okay. Yeah, if there are none, then yeah, I'd like to state that they're approved as distributed. And we'll move on to action items. So our first speaker is Harmony McGee from TPO staff.
Oh, yeah, I think set up the shares for me, not that.
Oh. What's the action? Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Harmony McGee. I'm the Community Relations Coordinator for the TPO. Today, I will be presenting the Public Participation Plans and Measures of Effectiveness Report. It covers 3 years, so 2022, 2023, and so the purpose of the MOE is to evaluate public engagement. So as you heard me say, it's a part of the public participation plan, which is our set of standards and procedures for how we do public engagement. So the measures of effectiveness is intended to show how effective we were at completing that. It also recommends improvements for how we can continue to better our public engagement and providing public participation opportunities to the community. And it also demonstrates an interest in public input and how we steward that feedback that we receive from community members. So the performance measures, there are 4 of them: visibility and productivity, participation opportunities, public interest and feedback, and response to public input. So what we'll be asking for the action today is to recommend that you recommend to the board to approve this report. So do you feel that we did an efficient job at portraying our effectiveness or even opportunities to continue to better ourselves? We created a scorecard. This is our first time doing a scorecard for the measures of effectiveness report. In all of the categories, we at least met our expectations, but particularly in public interest and feedback, we made 5 stars, which I will elaborate on that in a later slide. I would like to note that in the future, we would like to move to a point system to be more concise. And that way the reports can be more comparable year to year. So that's more trace our progress. For visibility and productivity, it was really important to us that we had a broad variety of ways that the public could be exposed to what the TPO is. So we use various mediums such as social media, print, as well as physical signs. So for Facebook content, our content was seen over 68,000 times. We had 760 video mentions, which that includes interviews and articles. And that would have been like ABC Action News and Candidate Times, different news outlets in the area. We also had 165 tip signs posted and 30,000 mail flyers. And those were done in English and Spanish. For participation opportunities, we had 93 outreach events, which 45 of those outreach events were LRTP events. The highest attended events of those were our Leadership Tampa speaking engagement, our presentation at the school board workshop, and also our LRTP presentation at Sun City Center. For public interest and feedback, these were the 4 topics that the community showed the most interest in throughout the 3 years. So the Access 2050 LRTP, the Transportation Improvement Program, the Community Air Monitoring Network, and the MPO merger. For responses to public input, when we were analyzing these, we broke them into 3 different categories, which there's a more comprehensive assessment of it in the report. These are just 3 examples that I pulled from the report, but it's divided into recommendations, board actions, and external actions. So an example of a recommendation was our campus school transportation survey, in which we received feedback from school administrators and families about safety issues that they were having at the schools. And so TPO staff provided recommendations in response to that public input, such as speed enforcement strategies. An example of a board action would be the TPO board's decision to implement the CAC's recommendations for changing the priority rankings in the 2024 list of priority projects. And external actions are more where the TPO served as like a middleman to where the public input was received at a TPO meeting, but an external agency acted on that public input. So an example would be that we received feedback from a citizen regarding Gibsonton Drive at Fernhill Drive. The interchange project was outlined in the LRTP for a later year than initially planned. So county staff responded and ensured that treatments would be made to that interchange in the interim until the project could reach completion. For notable successes and collaborations, we have the Access 2050 LRTP, the Community Air Monitoring Network, which also in 2024 also had its first summit. So that was a great accomplishment. And we have the FLIP and FLIP Junior, as you heard Katrina mention, which stands for Future Leaders in Planning. Some of our other more notable successes also include the Transportation Improvement Program. The Access 2050 Long Range Transportation Public Engagement actually received an award for our public engagement just because of how effective it was. So that is also a contributing factor as to why we got 5 stars in this particular category. Now I will address some of the recommendations that were made in the previous measures of effectiveness report. Some that stand out include clarifying our TVO purpose. So in 2024, I made a graphic for the Citizens Advisory Committee to clarify the core documents of the TVO, because I know sometimes those can get confusing. And so now they're actually available on the website for the general public to access so that they can better understand the inner workings of the TVO. We also have the community groups that were done for the Vision Zero study, which I will also touch on that in a later slide, and also just building a culture of awareness, which the air monitoring network was very effective at doing. Now we'll move on to this report recommendations. So our first recommendation is to utilize ArcGIS Survey 123 to create surveys that are APA compliant. For the tip signs, we would only like to require tip signs to be made for tip amendments and not roll forward amendments, because roll forward amendments would have already had public engagement done for them since they were already in the tip. As a regular amendment, it's kind of redundant to do additional public engagement for them, so we would only like to do signs if it's a regular tip amendment. For combating survey fatigue, we would like to shift our feedback prioritization from the quantity of feedback to the quality. So as you heard me mention, for the Vision Zero study, we had focus groups instead of doing the survey. So that would be one strategy to kind of combat that survey fatigue, is to get more concise with the community groups that we're meeting with to have more quality feedback versus just focusing on getting a large amount of feedback. We would also like to expand our online presence, specifically on YouTube. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with YouTube Shorts, but they now have a feature where you can do 60 to 90-second videos. So we would like to post more educational content on there. Currently, the YouTube's only being used to post meeting recordings, so we'd like to expand the type of content that we put on YouTube. For our committee processes, we would like to assess the committee processes just to ensure that the decisions are influential and impactful as they are reaching forward. In light of the recent storms that we had, we are doing an emergency preparedness initiative, which will include creating a standardized process for meeting postponements. So that way it will be easier for people to know what's happening during storms. And again, today's recommended action is to recommend the board accept the 2025 measures of effectiveness reports. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Harmony. Are there any questions or discussion? Jonathan?
Hey, nice job. Thank you very much. So, before you started, I wrote down about how you communicate the response to public input. And I think you did a very nice job there with the 3 examples. Is there a way, though, that your group can carry that message forward to show to the public that their input has counted and this is the resulting change? Not only those, but also perhaps some others. Have you thought about that at all?
Well, I do know this report will be made available to the public, but I do think that's a great idea. I can probably make a social media post or even an e-blast showing that, just as like an update to community.
Like the example from an external a citizen, noticed it and those changes, just a simple thing, what more construction is. Hey, this is frankly hasn't accelerated this change. Based on your feedback, something, for all those things. That's it. Dave.
Yeah, John.
Question for you. Is it possible, you mentioned the roll forward and not doing the boards. Is it possible for a project to come in that's not on the tip? And then they wouldn't necessarily have been already discussed?
Yeah, question, Ben? Question, sure.
So the question is just, is it possible for a project, because I know when you have to do a roll forward or not, the roll forward, actually, no, I guess, no, I was thinking of the, no, yeah, it would have already been on there with roll forward. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking of the, if you added a project in, that you have to do the amendment, but it's a different one, so never mind.
Any other questions or feedback? Do you want to back up to your request slide and can entertain a motion?
This is Katrina Corcoran, and I'll make a motion to recommend that that BPAC forward this motion to the board to accept the 2025 measures of effectiveness report.
Is there a second?
Second, Watson.
Yeah, did you get that? Katrina made the motion, Elaine second.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
All right, is there any discussion on the motion before we do it? Okay, well, let's vote on it. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you. And I think that's our only action item. So we'll move on to status reports. So Raphael, I believe you're online.
Yes, sir.
Start the offend. Do the IT
yeah,
report or is he?
I can make it the presenter.
Okay.
Yes. I'm having trouble finding the make a presenter option. Is it usually on the laptop or,
Do you want me to present?
Raphael, you're already a presenter. If you would like to share
Oh.
your screen and run your own slides, you're more than welcome to do so.
Awesome. Thank you very much. All right. Let me know when you can see the screen.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So I'm Raphael again, and I'm a traffic management engineer associate at the Hillsborough County, again, Traffic Management Center. And again, here I am presenting the recently awarded FHWA Attain grant. The main purpose of it was to enhance the safety and mobility. The overall project is a 3.9 million investment, where the purpose is to leverage and optimize the smart traffic technology while achieving the connected vehicle readiness for 75 intersections along 6 corridors and almost 43 miles of major arterial corridors. Here in the presentation, again, we targeted specific locations, which is going to, again, help us enhance that mobility and safety aspect behind it. Sheldon being part of the Vision Zero, corridors 56, closer to USF, Temple Terrace Highway, Falkenberg, 41 and 301. The main arterials on the south end, the main purpose of them were to, again, enhance the capabilities of the infrastructure to allow us to again, move traffic due to major incidents on 75. Again, we have some high limitations on those corridors. as infrastructure goes. So we selected those, being a total of 75 locations. The main objectives of them, as I said, it's to again upgrade legacy traffic signal cabinets. This case being 55 locations, 70 traffic signal legacy controllers to our newest specifications of ATC controllers, enhance the vehicle detection systems. Currently, we are running on legacy intrusive detection loops for the vehicles, and we are planning to again enhance and transition to a non-intrusive, where it allow us to collect volume counts. And as part of it, also, we are planning to pilot a school bus safety technology by installing an onboard unit, and it'll help them to again extend the green on the traffic light if they're a little bit late, and that's what it's called, traffic signal priority. Also, as part of it, our intention is to provide basic safety messages to vehicles that have the connected vehicle capabilities. Right, in this case, major manufacturers, Ford, Tesla, Audi, BMW, etc. And last but not least, the development and working with the regional traffic data exchange, which will allow us to provide real-time, almost near real-time work zone data, right, to the third-party providers and the navigation apps, in this case being Google, Waze, TomTom. So again, it's a concept. Here it's what's been proposed. Again, cabinets, brand new. There's a lot of old equipment out there in the field. Transitioning to the advanced controllers, which we've been working for the past 2 years on replacing all the old equipment in the county. This being the case of the traffic signal central system. Now we're in the transitioning period. We've approved the proof of concept, and our goal is to again work on that environment. Now the detection systems, again, we're trying to be proactive and provide more reliable network. And by doing so, we need new technologies. And last but not least, as I stated, this is an example of what it is, an onboard unit. What we're trying to do with school buses, provide more green time and the stop sign arm activated notifications. And this is the concept behind the temporary traffic control permits, that everybody that works in the road between, I think it's more than 2 feet away from the right of way, they have to apply for a temporary traffic control permit. This will allow them to, that will give them access to lane closures and or road closures. So again, right now, what we've been working on for the past 3 years is working on the transitioning portion of matching, providing that data to these data providers. So again, they can give to any connected vehicle or connected smartphone the access to this data on real time. And that is the major concept behind it. Any questions?
Thanks, Raphael. Any questions? Yeah, Dave?
Yeah, hi, Dan Rodriguez with Hart. Raphael, thanks for the presentation. I was wondering if anybody reached out to Hart to kind of get on it. So there are quite a few corridors that are transit corridors. 301, we don't have transit on there now, but the other ones I saw that had transit on there. And we do kind of participate with other connected technologies with DOT and we got Expressway Authority. So just wanted to see, we have some technology on the bus already, so maybe we can participate.
We actually reached out to HART back when we were developing the connected vehicle priority and preemption project. This is where the idea stemmed from. We are finishing the countywide deployment of a preemption system for the fire trucks apparatuses. And actually, again, we're in the final stages, and that covers database programming, installation of onboard units to the fire trucks. So what you get, and our goal back then was to, again, test the preemption first and foremost to allow the fire trucks to go through with green and stop the rest of the traffic. But also, we reach out to HART for the option of joining with us and participate on the priority aspect. Now, the idea with the priority was to install an onboard unit, just like you see here with what's been proposed with the school buses. And in that sense, it'll allow the HART buses transition from the old legacy Opticom system to this new system, which it'll basically be a holistic concept covering all the stakeholders. HART back in the day didn't proceed. So what we decided to tackle this award was to go with the public school, because back then HART decided to approach the CAF, the CAT AVL system differently, and we were going to revisit the priority portion after the preemption project was completed, because HART has to invest some money on the database programming and onboard units installation, or doing the virtual way, which that concept has been discussed recently. And it's just a matter of, having side conversation with HART and how to integrate your new system with the preemption vendor. So the concept and the topic has been discussed with HART in the previously, but it never progress when we had those conversations. Again, it's something that it would definitely need to be discussed later on.
Yeah, I'd like to see that happen. We've had some changes, leadership changes, and some changes in planning as well. And we are now on the street. We have awarded to a CAT AVL vendor. So that's in the process. So it'll be a good time to kind of bring that back up. So yeah, I'll pass your name over to them and have somebody reach out to you. All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Yep, not a problem. Anybody else?
I have one question on the connected vehicle side. Are you installing, is the plan to install RSUs at all of the CVDX RSUs at all the intersections?
Not RSUs.
Okay.
The RSUs are not in this grant application. There's devices, in this case, some vendors from the non-intrusive detection platforms that provide that capability of having an RSU. In this case, one of these examples is the picture that you see here in the bottom. But the concept of this application was to, again, get us ready for the connected vehicle. That was one of it, but the core of it was to upgrade the old systems that we have along these corridors. There's a big need from the traffic side. Obviously, you guys have a need from the bikes and peds, as how we balance it, right? Safety and mobility. So before we even think of doing anything at the traffic light, there's a core need. It's its main thing. It's replacing old equipment. We have old cabinets, old hubs that we still have until this day. We have copper for communications. We have a legacy central system which we're transitioning from. Again, multiple projects overlapping, and RSU, it's part of another grant application that we received, not part of this conversation, but our goal also is to, along with that other two applications, or those two other awards, is to install RSUs. So in the next 2 years, we'll be most likely installing about 100 to 200 RSUs around the county.
And but that won't be funded through this Attain grant.
Oh, none.
Got it.
No, that'll
Okay.
be other awards that we received.
Okay, and so for now, the OBUs will just talk to each other. In other words, not to the infrastructure.
The OBUs will talk to any connected device. In that sense, being connected vehicles, if they have the module, and
Sure.
if we decide to go with a specific vendor, which is part of the preemption project, those vendors have that vendor has the capability of sharing basic safety messages with Google and Waze, and which is already doing it with the fire trucks, and also providing signal facing and timing SPAT data to, again, TV capable devices.
Yep. Understood.
But
Okay.
the OBU will be talking to the traffic signals and, CV ready devices.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? All right. Yeah, thanks, Raphael, for your presentation.
Welcome.
Okay, our next status report is from Ben, our fearless liaison.
Excellent. Thanks again. Bye, Raphael. Okay, so I have shared the Plant City Central Connection Study with you all already, and I don't have a great deal of new news, but I am going to share a brief update because we had our first stakeholder outreach meeting in late January on the 22nd. So I'll pull up what we discussed there and just recap it as quickly as I can. Let's see. Perfect. So first off, we just shared a brief outline of what the study's going to look like, timeline, and as you all might know, the Sun Network is the sort of statewide multi-use trail system that's been slowly coming together, and the Sun program funds it. But unfortunately, there actually aren't any trails within Plant City that are in that network just yet, and therefore they're not eligible to apply to Sun funding. So we're still looking into various options to integrate the Plant City trail that's already underway into this wider statewide network. And so the process is involving looking at different Sun Trail connection locations and where they could connect from existing and future Plant City trails, coming up with a list of potential alignments, analyzing the relative feasibility, and then summarizing those findings and providing some recommendations. And so here the schedule. Right now, we're still in the data collection and the alternatives, mostly the alternatives identification process. So we haven't come out with a formal list just yet of the potential alignments, but I will share some that are kind of in the works at the moment. We're going to have another meeting in March, and that's also when we're going to release a public survey that you all, members of the public, an opportunity to provide some feedback on the different alignments. And that will include a lot of questions just about people's generalized preferences. Do you want nature trails or sort of urban rural trails? Do you want something that can get you downtown versus to a park? We'll have even some illustrations of what different types of trails could look like. And of course, maps of the different alignments. So in April, May to July, we'll have the third meeting in May. We'll come out with the final report in June, July, and finally goes for review in August or September. And the alternatives evaluation goes some large groups in committee. And so we've been collecting data on Florida Greenways and Trail System Plan, the Plant City Canal Trail Feasibility Study, Plant City Walk Bike Plan, Greenways and Trails Master Plan for 2023, and some coastal transportation planning lines, trails vision, bike network plan, lots of maps going with this. And so we came up with this data review matrix that so you'll see that some of these plans involve some trail connections, some of them are regional, sort of pretty wide range here. Yeah, so it's a spaghetti map. We're all over the place. It was one Florida Greenways and Trail System Opportunity Trail that would go through Plant City towards the west and also proposing opportunities towards Lakeland. We had a rep from Lakeland or Polk County attend, and there's really some exciting potential, not just for a westward route, but for an eastward route towards Lakeland as well. But I think it's pretty likely that two of the main proposals would include a route along SR 574 and another one on US 92, but we're still thinking into it. Here was another trail proposal from the Greenways Vision Plan. So that's the cross county greenway there. And then here were some ideas from the Plant City Walk Bike Plan. And then this was the Canal Connector Trail, more recently in Plant City. Yeah, so this discussion is going on about the different routes. We're going to have that list for you all in March. The next steps, I think that we already had field visit. The survey, Harmony is going to be working with us. We're going to send in questions, get that out ASAP. And then there will be a sort of evaluation matrix where we'll weigh the pros and cons of each alternative. And yeah, so that's where we're at right now. Feel free to ask any questions.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah.
Any questions or feedback? Okay. So we'll look forward to an update next month.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, with that, we'll move into old business. So yeah, Tim usually provides an update on City of Tampa projects. He's not here. I don't know if he has an alternate that wants to fill in.
I could share some unrelated things, but that can come after Christmas.
Okay, sounds good. Chris, do you want to give any updates on county projects?
Sure. We did just have a kickoff meeting for an alignment study about the Palm River segment of the South Coast Greenway, which would start at the Maydale Bridge off of State Road 60, crossing the bypass canal / Palm River, and head towards Madison Avenue, mostly along Maitland, Maydale, but that's been the established concept. We are going to flesh out some, alternatives for a more detailed review in that. So that's about a 6-month study. We should be wrapping up in summertime. So that's exciting to really start getting some detail along one of those corridors. The Upper Tampa Bay Trail Gap should be going to the PD&E study was finalized, and it's been a long slog through contracting, but it should be going into a design phase very soon. Portions of the Upper Tampa Bay Trail have been closed for a while, and I'm trying to get detailed updates on that, but there was the bridge over Rocky Creek, which is kind of near just on the north side of the big solid waste facility there by south of Citrus Park Mall. That was condemned last year, and they're working on it. I hope to get an updated schedule on that soon. But they also had some major washouts at the trail between Linebaugh and Sheldon in the fall hurricanes. And so that basically is then trail is closed between Sheldon and Gardner Road, which is the road just south of Citrus Park Mall. So we've got kind of a big gap in the trail right now, but they're working diligently to get that fixed. That's kind of it from my end of things. I don't know if Abigail would have had any specific project updates, but try to coordinate better for next month.
Thanks, Chris. I do appreciate you giving, I really enjoyed this and Tim's update. So hopefully you're agreeable to keep it staying on the agenda. If not, let us know. And you always have a pass if you say I got nothing this month.
I mean, I try to make a point to read the agenda in advance, but I don't always. So if anybody wants to ping me in advance to say, hey, you got an update, that always helps. And also our Greenways Committee is not officially on the calendar yet, but I need to do that tomorrow. We are having a meeting on the 19th of March.
Thanks, Chris. Any questions for Chris? All right. Ben, you said you had something.
Yes, just a couple. So you all may have noticed, you've seen flyers, because I wanted to share a few events for Florida Bike Month this March. And it's also going to be National Bike Month. Okay, these ones are just March. And first of all, my deepest apologies to anyone who got the black and white flyers. That's the maker's fault, not mine. So the first one is sort of a Bike with the Mayor event through Temple Terrace, 3.9 mile ride, and it's on March 7th at 8 a.m. And that's at the Family Recreation Complex. They'll have refreshments, bicycle lights, lots of fun takeaways. Let's see. And there is another one coming up downtown in Tampa on March 13th, brought to you by the Tampa Downtown Partnership. And that's going to be a guided bike commute with Mayor Castor to a rally at Lights Gaslight Park. And you'll see there are multiple starting locations and groups that are meeting this group A at these two locations, Seminole Heights and West Shore. And then group B at these 5 locations here as well. So yeah, if anybody wants me to pull up one of those flyers again, feel free to. But I just wanted to put it on your radar.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions? Yeah, thanks for that, for the handouts. Is there any other new business? All right, being none, if there's no objection, the meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone.